Hello and welcome to Technically Fed Motion. I am Hailey. Thank you for being here today. We are talking about hydration. Obviously, I'm drinking some today. So, I have done a full blog post on this, and this is the filler to fill in the rest. So make sure you check that out. That is linked below. But of course, I have to tell you to like, comment, and subscribe so I know where you're at and I can make more things for you. So, what is hydration? Fancy word for having enough liquid in your body. We have 60% water in us. That's what we're made of, mostly water. Just like the earth is mostly water. So it would make sense that we need to drink more. Is it just water? Is that the only thing I'm allowed to drink? Do I have to be the purest, nutrition guru person and just drink water? Truthfully, you're gonna get water from other places. Do I personally drink mostly water and think that's a good idea? Yes. Do I know some of you are absolute coffee lovers and are never gonna give it up? Yes. So let's be reasonable in today's talk. So we have things like coffee that are diuretics, meaning they pull more water out of you. You may go to the bathroom more, but your body is smart. We do adjust some. So if you drink a cup of coffee every morning, your body will adjust a little bit and it's not going to have as big an effect as far as the caffeine goes on your body as compared to someone who drinks it once a week or once a month. We know that a good amount of coffee for the average person that a body can handle is about 4 cups. Of course, the amount of caffeine in that varies, and I'm not talking about one that's a Starbucks fancy frou-frou drink or a double espresso, just your regular coffee. And most people can do well with 4 cups. That is a lot. You will have some of that addiction or reliance on the caffeine. So doing kind of that wave and backing off a little bit, coming back is good. And I would suggest that if you were my client. But you need to do what's best for your body, and what you enjoy is what you enjoy. So if you are feeling anxious or jittery, those are signs that it's too much for you. So keep that in mind. Other diuretic drinks include, of course, alcohol, and then other things we forget about. We've got the caffeinated teas, but some herbal teas do it as well to a degree, such as the mint teas. And then we also have soda. Think of those high sugary drinks, sports drinks like energy drinks, also a diuretic. And then we have other things like juice. Think what happens when you give a little kid juice. They go to the bathroom all the time. It goes straight through them. You don't give a kid who's potty training juice unless you're trying to make them pee all the time, because they'll wet their bed, etc. Anyway, so it does the same to an adult body, just it looks different, and we have better bladder control, of course. Moving on. So those are the diuretic drinks, and we enjoy them. We have to be careful of how much salt, how much sugar they have, as well as all those other food dyes and chemicals to be aware of to be healthy. So if you have the desire to drink other things besides water and coffee, and you want to have a drink, you want to go out and enjoy yourself, by all means. But you need to remember that when you drink a diuretic, that means you need a little bit more water. That is probably going to dehydrate you to some degree, and so you need to add more water in, and it depends on the drink a little bit. But if you have a cup of coffee, you're going to want to add, saying a cup is 8 ounces, 4 more ounces of water to your day quota. How do you figure out your day quota? We have heard over and over again, drink 8 glasses, it's great for you. That's a great generalization. We are all our own individuals with different heights, with different needs, with different activity levels. We live at different elevations. There's so many factors there. You cannot do 8 glasses and say, great. So for instance, you can take your body weight. We're going to take a nice rounded number. Say you weigh 160 pounds. Cut that in half. That is 80 pounds. turn that into ounces. 80 ounces is what you should start at as a give or take point. So I don't weigh 160 pounds. I weigh less than that, but I live at a high elevation. I am an active person. I like to be around 80 ounces of water. That does not count any diuretic drinks at all. I don't happen to drink coffee. I don't like it. So I drink 80 ounces of water, despite the fact that that calculation is a little different for my weight. So it's a starting point. So that 160 weight in pounds divided in half, now you have 80. Turn that into ounces. 80 ounces is what you want. That's your starting point. You may need more. It just depends. So play with it. If you find I am going to the bathroom all the time, know that there is an adjustment period. Your body is used to less. It's used to being in a dehydration state. That's my homeostasis. I am used to only getting 60 ounces. That's what I'm used to absorbing and utilizing. So your body needs to learn, oh, this is the new normal. I can handle 80 ounces. I'm of course just using 60 and 80 as an example. It's not necessarily your numbers, but once you start giving it that 80, that larger number, whatever it is, more often, then your body goes, oh, I can absorb more. And where does that go? Water is utilized to transport nutrients. It is utilized in digestion. We use a ton of liquid when we digest our foods. And by ton, I mean liters. And we also have it in our joints. You have little fluid sacs, especially a good example is your knee. Think about when you run. If you are hammering into the ground in that running motion, no matter how good your technique is, there is still an impact. Those are fluid sacs, synovial fluid. They need liquid. Water is part of that equation, right? So you will have more lubrication in that joint and all your other joints. Where else does our water go? It's for temperature regulation. So you get hot or you sweat, you have fever, you need more water. Also, it is great for flushing out toxins. So you have that alcoholic beverage, your body needs to flush it out. You need more water to flush it out. Makes sense? This is why it's so important. Now, another factor, I drink all the water all the time and I'm still peeing all the time. Well, what else is in your water? We, especially if you're living in a city, do some kind of treatment to our water, usually some kind of chlorination, get rid of the bacteria, etc., all those good things. But when we go through that process, even bottled water does that, because when you transport water from a source and it goes in a truck somewhere else, it has to be chlorinated. That is a legal thing. We don't have control of that. Unless you're going to the source, like a spring water, filling up a jug and bringing it home, your water is getting treated, which strips minerals. And those minerals, think salt, electrolytes, are very important for our bodies. They are a catalyst, meaning they help so many functions in the body. So when you are needing all those trace minerals, you need them from something. You get them from your food and the water. So if your water is stripped of those things through its processes to keep you safe, you need to add them back in. So as I mentioned on my blog post, there are a couple products I enjoy. I will show you the cheapest to the more expensive of what people enjoy. I personally like the cheaper versions. I am not going to buy a bottled drink or tablets all the time. I am not an endurance athlete. It doesn't make sense to me. But they are good options, especially if you do not like the taste of water. So let me hold those up for you one at a time. I'm just going to show you the cheapest versions that I enjoy the most. This is not sponsored. I paid for everything, okay? So if you have a decent sized water bottle, I would say about at least this size, which is 24 ounces, then it's easier to not oversalt yourself. So if you put salt, you can use sea salt or some kind of minerally earth salt. You can put a small pinch in here and that is something you should not actually taste. It should make your water possibly taste different or better, but it shouldn't taste salty. So that'll just give you a little extra minerals. If you are using like a super processed table salt, you're not going to get the benefits because they have stripped it. It is salt in its most basic form, and it just serves a different purpose. These are way better for cooking, in my opinion. Anyways, as far as flavor go, so some people think this one doesn't taste as salty, but if you're used to table salt, that's probably why. The other way you can kind of re-inoculate yourself in the safest way is to use magnesium, like before you go to bed. That's something we're often lacking. Many people are deficient in it. I don't know if you are. You have to go get a test from your doctor. But this is a great way to, because it's a catalyst for so many functions in your body, to calm down, relax at night, helps you sleep better, helps your muscles recover, all those things. So if you're like, I don't want to judge salt, like that's too tricky, or I don't want to buy that salt, another version would be Trace Minerals. I do like this. This bottle, if you look at the price, you're like, whoa, that costs a lot. This lasts forever. Like, I have had this for a very long time, and I'm only to here, and it's just a little bit here and there. If you're just sitting around at home, you probably don't need it, but if you're walking, you're talking, you're at high elevation, you're working out, very handy to use. And give yourself an adjustment period. If you put too much one day and you're like, oh, I hate this, I'm never trying that again, try something for a while. Don't just try it once. Give it a shot. If it was too much, back off. I don't know. When I work with clients, one of the things I hear is, oh, well, that didn't work. Well, how many times did you try it? One time. It can take weeks, especially when you're talking about food changes. When I'm working with my nutrition clients, it takes a long time. It takes 2 weeks for dairy to get out of your system, let alone feel better. So same principle, try it for a while. Be aware that you don't want to overdose on this and give yourself diarrhea, okay? This isn't going to do that to you. You might, you don't want it to taste like the Dead Sea. That would not be fun. So adjust, add water, pour some out into another water bottle and get the right ratio and mess with it and enjoy. So I hope this is helpful as far as what you can do to help yourself efficiently utilize water and know how to counteract when you do want to enjoy your cup of coffee or alcohol. Maybe not cup of alcohol, glass. So the other things I mentioned in the blog post were Halo and Noon. Those are like the sports energy drinks. They have flavor to them. Go check them out. Links are below. Comment below what you are drinking to stay hydrated and if it's working or not. I would love to know, and I can give you more feedback. Okay? So, thanks for watching. See you next time.